Everyone apparently in the industry knew that the broadcasters, Harry Carey and Milo Hamilton, had a major beef with each other.
Hit him up! Pull him out!
We want to know what's bothering you in the world of sports. Give Murph a call at 312-644-6767. That's 312-644-6767. And tell him what's beefing you in the world of sports. What's Your Beef is brought to you by Brown's Chicken Sandwiches and Catering.
Check out the Browns nearest you, brownschicken.com. What's your beef? Let's get to the phone lines and see what the fans like you are beefing about today. As always, the best beefs win a trip to the best beefs you've ever had at Brown's. Lunchtime, Brown's Beefs, lunch beefs, and Brown's. It tastes better. Let's bring up John on the west side of Chicago. Hello, John.
Hey, Murph, how are you? A big fan of yours.
Thank you.
I just wanted to tell you that I'm a Cub fan before I go on my beef.
Sure, what's
But I am so upset with these politicians and this sports authority to go by this Wrigley Field from Zell and his group because we're being pushed around, and like you're saying, this deal is so stinks, and they're doing it in the back room, and we're going to get stuck somewhere down the line with the way the economy is. 40 million, 400 million, it might be $1 billion before they get done.
And I'll give you one more, John. Stay on the line, John. Today in the Sun-Times, if anyone has a chance in the front, not the sports, page 8, there's another, some people, their eyes glaze over, more of this double talk. Listen to this, though, from Fran Spielman. She quotes Jim Thompson yesterday. In today's paper, Jim Thompson says that he spoke with Crane Kenny, Cubs chairman. They have agreed to gag orders on the negotiations.
Yeah.
Listen, it gets better. Jim Thompson, I'm not making this up. It's page 8. No one seems, I guess, read the Sun-Times anymore, or this would be a big story. Thompson says today, it makes no sense to talk about this until we have a deal. It keeps stirring things up, and it opens up dialogue for people to criticize something that's not a deal. He's saying right here, he's agreed with the Tribune, the Illinois Sports Facility, to shut up because they don't want to talk about it until it's a done deal because people might criticize and talk about it. Now, what does that tell you? That it's underhanded. It ain't good for anybody but the politicians and some business people. They are now admitting they're not going to talk about it until it's done because they don't want you and me talking about it.
Well, I'm going to write Durbin. I'm going to write Obama. I'm going to write every one of them and let these guys sneak around and do this thing with the way the economy is and people are out of work, and they're going to go spend money to rebuild the Wrigley Field. Put more netting up, for Pete's sake.
Hey, that's a great beef. You're going to hang on and go visit my friends at Brown's. It tastes better at lunch. Okay, John?
All right, Murph. Thank you. We'll keep talking about this.
Yeah.
They start listening to us.
No gag order on you and me. Hang on,
sir.
John. You're going to love your trip to Brown's. It tastes better. Let's go next to truck phone. Moose on the score. Hello, Moose.
Hey, Murph.
Moose.
You know what? I love your intro. That guy is the coolest singer. You got one of the best intros on score.
Thank you. That's Howard Burke. He wrote that for me unsolicited, and when we went on the air in 1992, he was a high school chum of our good guy Jesse Rogers. Howard Burke and the band, they wrote that. I've been playing it ever since. He is now professor of music at the Israeli Music Institute in Israel. Howard Burke still has family here in the area. Thank you. Moose, what's your beef?
Rock on, Howard. Yeah, these NBA officials more and more are using the replay, and now I saw in college the game was on the line.
Yeah.
The ref didn't know if he got fouled. He went to the basket, and the head coach said, look at the replay, look at the replay. And there it was. They had to go to replay to see if the kid got hit.
I thought the only time they go to replay is to see if there's, with the clock, if the shot was good or the buzzer went off. I thought that. Now they're just going willy-nilly when they feel like it or when they're, intimidated by the coach on the floor. Hang on, Moose. You're going to Brown's. For lunch, for dinner, Brown's, it tastes better. And those jumbo buffalo wings are flying off the shelves. Italian beef, Italian sausage. Put them together. Call it a combo. Oh, man, I'm hungry right now. Beef said Browns. Hey, say hi to the president over there, Frank Portillo. He's probably eating a combo right now. It's the Score second round of beef calls right after this. I'm driven to you by Chevy. DriveChicago.com. Rope and throw 'em, Brandon. Living high and wide.
Donovan, I've got your mom on the line, and she's got a major beef.
Oh, man, I was hungry before. I'm hungrier now for a trip to Browns. Welcome back. It's Murph. Let's get to the phone lines. What's your beef? Get you in, we get you out. Perfect for first-time nervous rookie phone callers. Murph, I listen, but I'm too nervous to pick up the phone. This is great. You get in, you get out. Something you want to get off your chest. What's your beef? 312-644-6767. Best beefs win a trip to Browns. Lunchtime beef sandwich. Italian beefs, Italian sausage. Me? I love the Maxwell Street Polish at Browns with all the fixins. Mike is in Rockford next. Hello, Mike.
Hey, what's going on, Murph?
Hey, Mike from Rockford. What's your beef?
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Hey.
I'll tell you what.
Yes.
I want to tell you right now. We live in Illinois. We've had a lousy winter. This is probably the worst winter. I've been here all my life, 47 years.
Oh, it's been a bad winter weather-wise, but you're also talking something else, I bet.
Everything. Okay, we had, the Bulls in 90.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we got our glory there. Over. Bears in 80. Over.
Blackhawks in 1960.
Exactly, Blackhawks. We had one good job with the Sox. All of a sudden, they went to the toilet. The Cubs, well, we don't even talk about the Cubs.
Well, they don't play in the winter last I looked.
But I don't know. Do we have a professional team right now in Chicago?
Well, how about this? How about in the NCAAs?
Illinois stinks. Northwestern stinks. That's all
There's
we do.
not one team from Illinois in the NCAAs.
It's killing me.
It's killing everybody.
I love Illinois. So let's get off our duffs. Mark Cuban, let's bring them on.
Get off your duffs, everybody. I appreciate it. Thanks, Mikey. Let the record show, 17 years. I believe that's the first time Duff has been used on the air on the Murph Show. I love it. Not Howard Duff, famous screen actor back in the 40s and radio actor in the 50s. Howard who? Let's bring up Deerfield Mike on the Score. Hello, Mike.
How you doing, Murph?
I'm fine, Mike. Thanks for holding. What's your beef today?
Murph, I am so sick and tired of NCAA coaches who go through a season, they finish like 18-12, and they're whining and crying because their bubble bursts and they're not in the tournament. Recruit better players, win some more games, take care of business, and you'll be in.
Win more. There's 65 damn teams in there. Just shoehorn your way in. Don't bitch about it when you don't make it. Force them to take you.
Exactly. Quit bitching and go win the NIT, right, Murph?
I love it. Or, right, the NIT for SIU and ISU, right?
Right.
Unbelievable. Mike from Deerfield, thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Oh, man. Send that one over to Best Of over to Russ Matera. I like that guy. Thank you, Steve Goffman. What's your beef? Browns. Oh, there's Superfan Dan. Look at his tie. Bloop. Meatball. He went to Browns for lunch, I'll bet. Had that big meatball sandwich at Browns, 4 meatballs. The marinara sauce. Oh, man. The nice French toasted bun, bread. And then what happens? Bloop, right on his $200 silk tie. Got a beef here from email. Got an email beef. This is from Bill. Hey, Murph. Now, this is pretty interesting. Do you agree with this? Bill says, Murph, has anyone been discussing the traffic situation on the Dan Ryan when the Cubs play those 81 home games at U.S. Cellular in 2010? After putting up with the long rebuilding project of the Dan Ryan, everyone that uses the Dan Ryan is now going to have to put up with Cub fans driving 81 times to the home games, tying up our expressway for 6 months. Oh, I love that beef. Attaway, Bill. Nicely done. But if you're on the Kennedy, it's going to be great. Oh, no, just kidding. Let's go next to Valparaiso, or do you say Valparaiso, Indiana? Hello, Brent.
That would be Valparaiso, Murph.
Oh, I love Valpo.
How you doing? I love their wings. They're flying off the shelf.
The wings are flying off the shelf.
My beef is after a missed free throw at any level,
they high five or slap hands with the shooter.
It makes me sick.
Them upside the head.
I like that. Nothing more irritating. Brent, this started about 20 years ago. I noticed the high school basketball, and it was sort of cute. You know, the high school boys, the high school girls, their buddy, their friend would miss at the line, and they'd walk over and high five. And I said, oh, well, you know, it's just the youngsters. Then it started. Then you know what happened? Those kids graduated and started playing in college, and they kept doing it. And I thought, well, that's a little bogus, you know, college. Oh, okay, maybe they're trying. Then you know what happened? They graduated, and they went to the NBA, and they're still high-fiving when they miss a 15-foot free throw.
Unbelievable. Missing free throws at any level.
I hate it, Brent. Thanks, buddy. Good beef. I appreciate your beef. We got time for a couple more beefs there. What do you think, Steve? Got time for a couple more? 312-644-6767. I've been informed we have time for a couple more beefs. Get you in, get you out, and best beefs win a trip to my friends at Brown's. You know, they got the best Italian sausage. Why is it the best? Because it's just like Grandpa had back in the 40s and the 50s in Chicago. It's like your dad had back in the 70s when he talked about the Italian beefs in Chicago. Brown's worked on this for years. They have the best, the authentic, the real Chicago Italian sandwiches, Italian sausage, Italian beef, just like the old neighborhood used to have, all right? I'm telling you. I don't even know where Maxwell Street is anymore. Well, Murph, it's right over there off the Dan Ryan. No, I know where Maxwell Street is, but Maxwell Street isn't there anymore. Maxwell Street Polish at Brown's, my favorite, yellow mustard, grilled onions. Dan from South Elgin on the score. Hello, Dan.
Hey, Murph, how's it going?
Pretty good, thanks, Dan. What's your beef?
My beef's with the NCAA tournament committee.
There's always a beef with them. Go ahead, Dan.
It involves the play-in game that happens tonight.
Yeah, now, what is that deal? They can't have 64, they ought to have 65. Why is that?
And both of these teams that play tonight for the play-in game, they both won their conference tournaments, and now one of them doesn't even make it to the big tournament.
Why can't they have 64 teams?
They should.
Why don't they? Why can't they have 60? Got to have 65. It's ridiculous.
It is.
Why don't they? Why not have 67? Why not have 76? And they can come out with trombones. Let's go to, thank you for the call, Vernon Hills. Mo on the score. Hello, Mo.
Hey, Murph.
Like to hear a little more of Mo. Hello. Go ahead, Mo. What's your beef?
Okay, my beef is with the former governor, as heard on Sunday's Hit and Run.
Oh, yeah, he's put a gag order on himself, by the way.
I know. Well, he won't make any dumb remarks like he did on Sunday then, I guess.
What was the dumbest thing you thought he said?
Well, they were ready to launch him, and he wouldn't get off the air until he had the audacity to compare buying Wrigley Field and remodeling it with showing the world that Chicago works so that we can get the Olympics. How about that?
Well, you know what? You're exactly right. They asked Jim Thompson, they being George Alton, Jesse Rogers, 22 minutes earlier in the beginning. They said, you know, why is the Illinois Sports Facility Authority doing this? And he didn't answer. He obfuscated. He muddied the water. He filibustered for 22 minutes. And then when they're trying to say goodbye to the fine Big Jim Thompson, that's when he finally said, oh, by the way, this is all so that we can, you know, we all desire the Olympics. I didn't know that I desired the Olympics. I hadn't even thought about it, Mo.
Well, I think, you know, he wants to use this as a hammer publicly over the mayor.
Well, yeah, of course, he figures that's his way to embrace the mayor.
Silliest thing I ever heard in my life.
I suggest Carol Slazak to you in today's Sun Times, Mo. You might enjoy Carol Slazak's column on page 60. Says, and you'll like this, the sale of Wrigley Field and the mayor's Olympic dream have nothing in common.
Oh, I'll have to pick it up.
Is that what you're saying? Nothing. The sale of Wrigley Field and the Olympics have nothing in common. And she said the mayor's dream of the Olympics, it's an attempt to link the two borders on political blackmail. She says the Olympics arguably serve a worthy public goal, but Wrigley Field's a private entity and should remain so.
I agree.
Hey, Mo, if you agree with me, you're going to go visit my friends at Brown's. It tastes better, all right, buddy?
All right, thanks, Murph.
All right, hang on. Hook up Mo from Vernon Hills. He's probably going to have an Italian beef and an Italian sausage today for lunch at Brown's and call it a combo.
Thanks for participating in What's Your Beef. Join Murph for another edition of What's Your Beef. What's Your Beef has been brought to you by Brown's Chicken Sandwiches and Catering. All winners of the Mike Murphy Show are only eligible to win prizes once in a 60-day period.
Hey, I'll be back in a few moments with another segment and 3 long segments in the 1 o'clock hour. Jesse Rogers will join us from Arizona talking baseball. We'll try to break down the Bulls breakdown and much, much more. Murpho, driven to you by ChevyDriveChicago.com. Back in a flash.